Hi there, Bobo. Hello. Look at the stitchwork. Fantastic in the sunshine. Also fantastic in the shade, believe it or not. I was just speaking to one of my friends who's working there, and sadly my property that I had an eye on and approached the owner not so long ago, not to make an offer, but I jokingly said to him that I had an interest in it, and my friend doesn't own it, but it's the chap, I remember his mother very well, and I've just been informed that the property has in fact been sold. So this is a bit of a disappointment for me because, well, I don't know. It's the second property in as many weeks I've discovered has been sold, which I had a keen interest in. Of course, the properties in question are not so much just the houses, but enormous sections of woodland and fertile land. So unfortunately, I can't afford to buy woodland and arable land and ponds and stuff like that. So being outside my price range, it's a secondary home that has gone to the wind. I'm quite disappointed to hear this news, to be honest. And as I passed the house, there was 4 people sitting having afternoon tea on the lawn. I didn't speak to them because I thought it was rather rude to just even say hello, because it's, you know, they're in private conversation, and there's a barrier between where they're sitting and where I was walking. Of course, an old dike. But I thought I should have said to them, "Are you such and such?" "Yes." "Why are you selling it?" "I told you I wanted to buy it." And he says, if he had said to me, "Well, you're too slow. A person's made an offer and I can't refuse it." Never set your heart on any property unless you explicitly have the funding to help you make the decision behind you. He owns all of this. I know that well, I suspect the new owner won't be doing anything with the woodland. He can't do anything with the woodland, but I'm still nevertheless disappointed to hear what's happened. I'm going to trundle along here. I'm going to sit. I've come past the place where the wildflowers are always in profusion. There's a shady area. I should have filmed it, but it was too close to where my friend was working with a chainsaw. Just talking about chainsaws yesterday too. Of course, we have the marvellous buttercups. I love buttercups. Hello. Hello, wee boo-boo. Wee boo-boo. Wee boo-boo. They're so beautiful. And they're all, you know, it's like looking at a vast crowd of entirely beautiful women and trying to make a decision which one's the most prettiest, when indeed they all are. That's what I think of buttercups. This fence, well, I do remember when it was all a continuation of hawthorn and dog rose and just everything, beech and all manner of things in a long, long hedgerow. But I think that there was a problem always trying to maintain the hedge for the farmer, so they decided to uproot it. I think there was about 600,000 miles in total of hedgerows which were lost between the late 40s and the 1990s in England. 600,000 miles. That's a lot of hedging, isn't it? A lot of it was because of motorway construction and lots of extensions to villages and towns, and of course the big farm conglomerates, which the grain growers particularly, all the fields previously back into medieval times were all split, and they used hedging to split the land up. But once the big conglomerates came in, they just dug all the hedges up and made these vast prairie-like arable farms with the combines could just breeze along and cut everything without any interruption. It's very sad, and this has had a huge impact on all the biodiversity of contained in the hedges. Here's a perfect specimen of the rhubarb plantain that I've been talking about often. Look, I showed you the greater plantain yesterday, but this is the rhubarb. This is really good for you. And these seed heads with little flowers on top, these can be picked once these flowers are off, and they make a delicious caffeine drink. Very small amount of caffeine, but delicious. Look here already. There's the blossom on the elder bushes is starting to take shape. You see how quick spring into early summer comes along. These will turn a glorious white very soon, just as white as the hawthorn. And when these elders go into the blossom, and I'm talking here in Perthshire, I'm not talking about south of the border at this moment. In this part of the world, it's a true sign. You can hear my friend with his distant hum of the chainsaw that I was talking about. Can you hear how gentle and whirring the chainsaw is from a distance, but a damn racket when you're up close to it? Yeah, so what I was saying about the florets of the elder, they will come into bloom, and that is a sure sign that summer has finally arrived when these turn white. Always. Doesn't mean you're going to get any better weather as a result, it just means it's a sign that summer is definitely here. Well, in a day like this you almost feel like it's summer, but it is only May. I'm saying that, we're only 3 weeks now away from the longest day, aren't we? 3 weeks come this weekend. The land's looking very parched. I can tell because this pathway, which is having my shadow cast in front of me from the sun's behind me in the westerly direction. But this track in the winter months is often very boggy, very churned up, very difficult to walk in at all parts. You clamber into the field a lot of times. Even there it's chock-a-block with mud and silt. I'm going to sit in the stonework along here. I'm going to have a cigarette. I'm not lonely when I'm walking along here. I'm just looking at everything, reminding myself of how beautiful everything is. Always. These plants have been coming out since I was a baby, and probably for many, many decades before that too. They only come out for a week or two, and then go back to sleep until the next year. This is why you have to be out often to watch the changing landscape. If you come out maybe at Easter and then you decide to come out in August or something, you're going to miss all the blossoms and everything. It's a perfect evening, it really is. I'm glad I brought some water with me. It's in my flask, it'll still be hot. Come on, we'll get a seat, Andy. There's so many peacock butterflies going around. Can you see? Settle on the ground, having a little breather. That's a peacock butterfly. It's the amazing life of the butterfly, isn't it? It really is. How do you transform yourself from a little caterpillar into something so pretty and beautiful that can fly around in the wind? It's quite amazing. It's the work of the good Lord is very visible in the butterfly. I'm going to put this little slice of rhubarb into my water. I'm going to have a sip. I'll show you in a second. I'm going to roll a cigarette, please. So I've washed the rhubarb in the boiling water. Just give it a quick rinse, and then I popped it into the remainder. A little gentle drink here. I crushed it up a little just to release some of the internal juices. It's very refreshing, I have to tell you. But I have to say, without feeling a bit sad, but no, I'm not sad, I'm just thinking, well, I am thinking that it's truly amazing just how quickly life passes. It really is. It's unbelievably quick. You don't think it when you're young, but you begin to realise that later on that we're not here forever. I don't know if we see it like this when we get to the other side of. I'm almost sure that everything improves. We don't have any anxiety or worries, or you're on a certain level with people, so the level you reach from how you've conducted yourself on this planet Earth dictates where you're going to be in the next life, and so it removes all bitterness and anger and any stresses or worries that you carry. But I'm always sure that the pictures that bring the greatest joy to your heart when you're here, and the greatest beauty, is probably what you will be left with when you get to the other side. If you, as I say, conducted yourself in a good and proper manner for the majority of your life. Not talking about making the odd errors or stupid mistakes or things we do when we're in our adolescence or stuff, you know. I'm talking about how you conduct yourself at the later years in your life. You carry yourself and a chip in the shoulder for things, or are you bitter with everything, or are you happy? I mean, I'm never bitter. I just like phoning up companies. I feel that they actually enjoy me phoning them up. I mean, Mars Bars, the company Mars, I still got the letter. I can't find it at the moment, but I mean, at the time I called them when I came home from an evening shopping in Morrison's in Perth and got a 4-pack of mini Mars Bars for £1. That's the only reason I bought them, because they were only £1 for 4. And when I opened the packet, I discovered they're really quite small once you started to remove the wrapper. And in fact, it was so much of a rip-off, I waited till the next day and called Mars. But in the interim, I measured up each of the Mars bars and found a difference of about 1.7 millimeters. And when I relayed that to the customer service advisor at Mars, they placed me on hold. And I think to tell these colleagues it was a complete arsehole on the phone. But anyway, they listened to what I said and they agreed it could be a production problem. I think it was all part of a script that he was reading from, but he said, we'll look into it. He says, what was the smallest difference? I said, well, I make it about 0.2 millimeters, but 1.7 millimeters is a bit largest deficit. So he says, I'll send you a voucher. So he did. He sent me a voucher to get some Mars bars. I don't like Mars bars. I don't even know why I bought them. I only bought them because it was on special offer, 4 for £1, but they turned out to be a fakery. Total. Well, that was interesting actually when I gave him the barcode. He could tell me exactly what time and the exact till in Morrison's in Perth that I purchased it. So it certainly is a thing about Big Brother storing all information. Your Mars bars could be on a database when we purchased it at a certain time of night. Nice just sitting on an old wall, isn't it? Thinking of nothing. Let me get my cigarette, please. I mean, I definitely feel the recurring memories of, I mean, even when I'm sleeping, I have these exhaustive dreams when I'm trying to connect with my previous lives. There's absolutely no doubt that what comes mostly to the surface is, one, that I was a very wealthy Edwardian in a rather large house. I've no doubt about it. And customary to that, that's why I continue to order, as I always ordered when I was young, Sorry, in my past life from Fortnum Mason. Nothing's changed. I seem to have a vision for the corridors and the rooms, the drawing room and everything from the big house. But at the same time, I also find that I have these moments, a little bit like just now, I'm sure, where I've walked the highways and byways as a lonesome tramp, and slept under the stars and under hedgerows and things like that, and just lived off the plants when nothing else was available. Chap in the door. Could I borrow an egg, please? Come in and get a sandwich. Sit on the back doorstep, would you? I'll give you a sandwich. Would you like some? Would you like a cup of tea? Oh, yes, please. Yeah, a couple of biscuits. I'm sure I've been a tramp as well. Yes, definitely. Walking, I'm absolutely convinced that I've walked all around Perthshire as a tramp. I don't think it's my mind playing tricks on me. I think it's something I've had since I was a youngster. I've always felt this need to be out in the countryside alone. And I think I was in primary 4. No. Primary 6 it was, with Mrs. Robertson. She was a very stern individual. I think she was a narcissist. She had spectacles. She was probably quite attractive actually when you think about it. Just when you were young you didn't think of women that way, you just looked at them as being nasty because they kept giving you homework. But she always gave us a poem to recite, and she always chose somebody in class on a Monday morning to recite a given piece of poetry. So you had to learn it. And I remember the poem by Robert Louis Stevenson, The Vagabond. And when I learned about the vagabond, I thought, that's me. I'm a vagabond. I spent an entire lifetime. I think what happened actually, it seems to me it could have been something happened, and I went from riches to rags instead of the other way around. Or in the reincarnation I came from a tramp to become a very wealthy Edwardian or something. I don't know. I can't really work it out. Give me the life. Give to me the life. What was it again? Give to me the life I love. Let the have go by me. Give the jolly heaven above, and the byway night me. Bed in the bush with stars to see, bread I dip in the river. There's the life for a man like me. There's the life forever. Let the blow fall soon or late. Let what will be o'er me. Give the face of earth around, and the road before me. Wealth I seek not, hope nor love, nor a friend to know me. All I seek the heaven above, and the road below me. Or let autumn fall on me, where afield I linger, silencing the bird on tree, biting the blue finger. White as meal the frosty field, warm the far side heaven. Not to autumn will I yield, not to winter even. Let the blow fall soon or late, let what will be o'er me. Give the face of earth around, and the road before me. Wealth I ask, not hope nor love, nor a friend to know me. All I ask, the heaven above, and the road below me. I'm just on the return leg now. There's onshore breezes which have picked up in velocity coming straight from the east. Not unusual at this time of year, but it's a bit like the, what do you call them, you're down in the south of France in May. A lot of people go to Cannes Film Festival in May, and yeah, despite the high temperatures, they're always rather annoyed. Well, Cannes and Nice and stuff, it's not too bad, but lots of parts of South France are bothered by the Mistral winds, which blow down from the Alps. It normally happens in the month of May. So this onshore breeze, if you were out towards the east coast, it would be particularly strong. Being where we are in Perthshire, halfway between the two coasts, just about. You see. So we get a mixture of every type of weather here in Perthshire. It makes it a lovely countryside. It makes it a very pleasant place to stay, actually. I was just thinking there. I'm always thinking, as you know. But absolutely nothing. I was standing there looking at the Himalayan balsam, an invasive plant. I was looking at the rest of the vegetation and I just said to myself, well, really that's all we are as well. We're equal to the blossoms and the ferns, the gooseberry bush here. Look at this gooseberry bush. There's no distinction between anything. The buttercups, the dog rose, which should be coming out in pink soon. The beech here. They're all exactly the same. If you stand a moment, you realise this. There's absolutely nothing between us and everything else. I mean, we're certainly able to walk and talk. Hiya. And although we can't hear the plants talking, I can assure you they do talk. They talk to each other. Cyclist said hello. That's a lovely song. Thank you, Mrs. Chaffinch. Where are you? Give me it again, please. Ring it out again, please. You won't sing till I've passed. He or she, can't really see which one it is. Look at this is fabulous, Andrew. Ah, it's beautiful, thank you. It really is so gorgeous. I wish everyone appreciated the beauty. Musicians, composers and artists, and everybody from the 19th and the 18th and 19th century seemed to have a hand on the why everything was so beautiful, and writers and poets. And nowadays everybody's blind to everything. I mean, the Chaffinch is just, it's such a warming tone. If you're feeling a bit down and you pass the Chaffinch singing in the hawthorn there, of course it's going to raise your spirits. And if it doesn't, then there's something wrong with you. She's absolutely gorgeous. Where is she anyway? She's hiding. I wish I could see her. Thank you, that's so beautiful. Any chance of seeing your face, please? Yeah. Yeah, I don't disturb her. She's happy singing there. Look at it amongst the beautiful blossom.